Hello everybody, happy Friday. It is going to shape up to be a very warm day here across the state line, and temperatures already before that noon hour already at 80 degrees, if not even higher. The high point right now is Freeport sitting at 86 degrees with dew points a bit on the warmer side compared to where we were at just 24 hours ago. Seeing a 10-degree increase in Rockford, 8 degrees down in Sterling and Rock Falls, with dew points now sitting in the middle to upper 50s, if not even into those lower 60 values. Now dew points are going to come back around. I'll touch on that here in just a second. Winds mainly out of the southwest near 5 or so miles per hour. Monroe, the hot spot at 9 miles per hour. Otherwise though, a calm wind is recorded in Rockford. No complaints anywhere that we can see on our Anderson Kia Max Storm Tracker, with high pressure still sitting overhead, pretty much meaning that sunshine is going to be quite a bit here for us this afternoon. Maybe a fair weather cloud here or there, but for the most part, blue skies are what is in the forecast. But man, it is going to be hot as can be. Temperature-wise, I think we'll likely top out into the upper 80s, if not close to that 90-degree mark, and this will be relevant here in just a second. But the biggest question on just how warm we're going to get has to boil down to our dew points. If those dew points end up mixing out throughout the afternoon and we see a dip in them, well, a dry air mass is a lot easier to heat than a moist air mass. So if dew points hang around, I think we'll still likely top out in the middle to upper 80s, but 90 degrees might be a little bit harder to come by. So melting forecast, regardless of what shapes out, you definitely want to eat it fast because, man, it is going to feel very much like a summer day. Now, the reason why 90 degrees is such an important number is because that will tie a record high that was set in 1997. And right now, I do think those dew points will likely go ahead and mix out. And once they do, we'll likely tie that record. As of right now, I think we have about a 65 to 70% chance or so for actually achieving that 90-degree mark. So definitely something we will be keeping track of here throughout the remainder of our day. But regardless, football frenzy is tonight with high school football across the state line. And whew, it is going to feel very much like a week 1 or preseason game with just how warm these temperatures are set to be. At kickoff for 7 o'clock, still in the upper 70s and not much relief heading throughout the remainder of the night, with temperatures down to only 71 degrees by Football Frenzy Plus. So right around 10 to 10:30, definitely something you want to keep in mind as temperatures are going to be very warm, and potentially cramps could become a factor late in games. So if you have any athletes, would highly recommend going ahead and telling them to make sure they are staying hydrated and potentially drink some pickle juice or something high in sodium to kind of get those salt levels up to prevent those cramps. Now, progressing overnight tonight, our blanket cast, you can honestly probably go without them, as we'll likely top out at, or bottom out, near 64 degrees. So still very warm tonight with air conditioners likely running throughout the evening and overnight and well into the weekend. Because once again, temperatures upper to mid 80s for both Saturday and Sunday, and our weekend will give us some different obstacles that we have to overcome. It's going to be quite breezy as a low-level jet starts to develop across the region, and with that in mind, well, wind gusts could reach about 20 to 25 miles per hour on Saturday and gain even more strength heading into our Sunday, with some gusts reaching 25, if not closer to even 30 miles per hour. But if we combine that with some very dry air across the region, highs once again middle upper 80s, and then a very dry ground. It's, of course, a lot of us are currently in a drought, and even 35% of us are underneath a moderate drought. Well, all those factors combine into elevating our fire danger risk. Right now, I put us at a very high, as we could have it higher, but still, any bonfires, I know they're an October staple. I would recommend maybe waiting another week or maybe even 2 weeks, as we do have some rain to discuss in the forecast. But over the next 5 days, you'll notice we do have some changes to discuss. Heading into Monday, high of 76 degrees, then back to those mid 60s by the weekend. And that is because the high pressure ridge that is basically giving us this massive heat wave finally breaks down and pushes off toward the east. But in its place, we're going to see a low pressure trough system start to meander over the state line. And by the time we get towards the middle of the week, it will pretty much be overhead, giving us a nice northwesterly flow, bringing with it that cooler air and finally back to seasonable. But one other thing that it will do is likely generate some showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms for our Monday, and especially heading into our Monday evening. Now, I do think our best chance, again, will likely come Monday evening, as that's the best timing for that cold front across all models, but still can't rule out maybe some rain for our Monday and for our Tuesday. And I know for us, we definitely need it with just how dry we have been. And While some models have been giving us a good amount of rainfall, it's still too early, especially also knowing we are underneath a drought right now. When in doubt, well, that drought will kind of work it out. So definitely something we'll be keeping in mind. But hey, if you're a fall weather fan like myself, finally, it is going to feel much more like fall by the end of, or at the beginning of next week, because temperatures once again mid-70s Monday, then back to those 60-degree temps Tuesday all the way through Thursday.